you believe that we started recording right in the middle of 2020 with all of the COVID and lockdowns going on around us, unable to meet up? So like many a young gentleman, we turned to the internet for our entertainment. Tried to find a place where we could meet up and talk about the good, the bad, and that time that Stu saw a pelican on the canal. In order to facilitate our dreams of answering all of the big questions in film, and after a few attempts at recording via other methods to various levels of success, we found Zencastr, a super easy web-based one-stop shop for recording. Log in and you're ready to record in a matter of seconds. It doesn't take a tech genius to get high quality audio or video. And on top of that, the one time we have had an issue, the fact that the multi-layered backups are stored locally means it's easily fixed all in browser. There are plenty of tools you need when you start podcasting, so let Zencastr take that headache away, as it offers a place to record, edit and distribute all from one website. Any lazy bones Jones can pick up and play and have studio quality audio or 4K video put out for the world to see when using Zencastr. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code CAGEFIGHTING and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. And now, hit the music. So I think I'm going to put this in at the beginning of the episode, Stu. I wasn't quite... we weren't really planning on doing Wicked at all, were we? But someone slid into my DMs on the weekend asking my opinions on it. I thought,
Oh, no. See?
Yeah, this is it. Taking a leaf out of your books.
This is how it starts. And you replied to it, and did you reply and check that they were actually the real person?
I didn't, but I do trust them. Yeah. But I kind of realised in my reply that I had a lot more to say about Wicked than I kind of realised at the time. So obviously we went to see it last week. And when I came out, I'd said to you, it didn't really do it for me. It didn't work. And I've got to be honest, the more I've thought about it, it's turned from like a mild dislike to an actual almost hatred of it. I think it's really badly made. I think storytelling wise, I think it's an absolute shambles of a movie, Stu. Really quite disappointed.
I've gone the other way.
Have you? You've eased on it, have
you?
You?
Just put this as it is now. Just put it at the start.
Yeah. Let's just keep it in here. So you've eased on it then, have you? Since we went to see it.
As we discussed, I've eased on a lot of things over the last 2 days. Mild shit incidents for everyone. But yeah, I think I don't care about the stage show because I hadn't seen it, so I'm judging it purely on it as a film. As I do with all adaptations, and I've said this for the last 5 years anyway. Even the Last of Us and whatever. I had no idea what I was getting into, did I? So went in. Having watched the first part in 4K that I'd bought for $7.99 on Prime properly the day before and loved it again. And I thought, this is a magical experience and blah, 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 blah. So going into that at 9:20 in the morning, which before the tired time, I'd had my sausage butty. I was all prepped and all ready. You walk in with your little bag of popcorn. Moaning for years about people eating popcorn in the cinema. You're doing it.
It was my breakfast though, Stu. I had to have something.
Yeah.
Popcorn and coffee. I'm good.
And then that special container that you were tipping into the water. Don't know what was going on with that.
Have you not? Okay, so there's something I've got from the States when I've been over. So that's a Jolly Rancher. You just add it to your water and it adds flavour to it. It's almost like squash, but it's powder.
Powdered squash.
Basically, yeah.
They can't even have normal squash, can they?
They're really nice though, and they're like very low calorie compared to normal squash. They're amazing. I'll bring you one next time. You'll like it.
Yeah, the idea of powdered squash is not. I didn't expect to be thinking of it that loud. what it even was. I thought it was probably some, like you see with him Energy Bros, that we are very much not. And they're putting powdered stuff in, so it makes some kind of sense. But yeah, so you're putting your powdered stuff in your water, and then I was perfectly fine with my 1.25 litre of Pepsi that I'd got from B&M earlier in the day, and my Suki's Fast and Furious 2 car, still to construct. So you're sitting down, and you think, okay, and then first 25 minutes, oh yeah, this is the shit. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a massive hour and a half of nothing. Well, no, hour and 15 minutes of nothing happening at all. It's dull.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, really? And then at the end, the last half hour was great. But that bit in the middle, I did not expect whatsoever. And I know that we got that. Obviously, we're not spoilers. You get the reveals of the origin stories of Scarecrow, Tin Man, and obviously Coded Line. We already kind of had that, but
yeah,
which was a nice thing, and I kind of half knew, but at the same time forgot. So it was a shock. But I thought he tied it in really nicely in the end with that stuff. And when I said to you, it felt like a 7. And I think I'm going to stay with a 7. The first part being a 9, just over a 9 for me. And then it's just not. But then I spoke to my brother about it as well. And he said that obviously he's seen the play. And he said that it's the same as you, that the second act is not the same. It's not nowhere near as good as the first. But that's a bit like Bottom Live as well. But the Hooligans Island Part 2 is not nowhere near as good as Part 1. So
yeah.
it's not the first production that's suffered with this fate. So taking it as it is, it was fine. I enjoyed myself mostly. It's been in my head a lot, considering all of the sport has let me down all weekend.
Doesn't it always?
How can you have 3? Let's see. Obviously, Wolves, whatever. Jets, it is what it is. But then to have you won saving grace being F1. I thought, oh yeah, Lando can win the championship next week in Qatar, and then have the whole team disqualified, despite finishing second and fourth. Oh no, technicalities because the ride plank is one millimeter too short. Just
what a ridiculous sport that is.
Sums the whole thing up. So Wicked being okay, kind of put me in a bad mood for the weekend. But it still hasn't left my mind. So I have kind of calmed down a little bit over it. So yeah, I think I was a bit harsh, but at the same time, I can understand a lot of people not being too thrilled with it either.
Yeah. So obviously I've seen the stage play several times. It's a 2.5-hour stage play that made a 5-hour film. Like, I think we'll do the bad stuff in a bit because I've probably got more to say on that than I have the good, in fairness. I didn't hate the first one. I thought the first one was fine. I didn't think it was amazing. But I still enjoyed it nonetheless. Whereas this one, just everything felt like it was kind of off key. But if I'm going to look at the good stuff of this film, Cynthia Erivo can fucking sing. I thought she was fantastic. I could listen to her all day. One of the songs I'm not a big fan of is No Good Deed. It's not a song in the play that really... I just don't care about it that much. I thought that was the best song in the film. I thought the setting and everything on it was fantastic, and her delivery was phenomenal. I was really impressed with Cynthia Erivo again. She's got something, and yeah, she's just very, very supremely talented. Jonathan Bailey too, like he's got it. He's just a charismatic dude. I really liked him in the first one when he was that brainless, vapid idiot, and I'd liked that he grew and changed literally in this. I thought Jonathan Bailey was fantastic in this movie, and he deserves all the plaudits. He's probably been somewhat overlooked, I think, because of the friendship between Erivo and Grande. I feel like the media and everything, they've sort of pulled focus a little bit. But Jonathan Bailey, he deserves his flowers. As does Ethan Slater as Spock. I quite liked his character being very, very downtrodden and defeated, and like he was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. And then when it happened, the turn, the righteous fury that he held, or unrighteous fury rather, I thought his delivery was brilliant. I was genuinely quite impressed with him. When in the first film, he was just there.
Like when he's in the Munchkin outfit as well, and he's like proper. You can see the rage building up in him.
Yeah. I don't even know who he is. I think he's Ariana Grande's partner, but I couldn't tell you anything about his work before or whatever. But he was really good in this, which surprised me quite a bit.
Don't even know who he is.
Like, genuinely, I've no idea who he is, bar from being in Wicked. And I think he's the one who he was married, and Ariana Grande stole him away from his wife, allegedly.
Oh, is that why everyone hates Ethan Slater?
Yeah.
Just looking. SpongeBob movie. SpongeBob musical live on stage. Yeah, he hasn't really done anything of note. Oh, he was in Gen V. Elsbeth.
Was he?
Yeah. And maybe that's season 2. I haven't watched
Yes, he was
yet.
in Elsbeth. I saw him in Elsbeth a few weeks back. I'd forgot about that. I don't remember him in Gen V, to be fair. But that might have been before I knew who he was. So,
yeah.
Makes sense. And I thought, compared to the first film, the colour grading was less distracting, at the very least. Like in the first one, it felt very washed out, and I didn't like it at all. And I think the colours looked a little bit truer this time around. I don't know if it was because the settings were quite different in this film compared to the first one, so maybe that might be why. But it was less distracting. I was less annoyed at what was going on with all of that.
The problem that you created in your head that I never had an issue with, and when I watched it again the day before, was exactly the same. And watching them back to back, it didn't feel like they'd changed it at all.
I'm definitely not the only person who has raised the colour grading being an issue. I've seen like there are people definitely on Twitter that it's ugly as sin, that first film is. This one I thought was fine. Like, I don't want to go any further than that. It was fine. But yeah. So that's the good for me. Like, there are a couple of bits, and I wouldn't say to not watch it, if only for Cynthia Erivo doing No Good Deed, because I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. The bad, though, it feels like there's quite a lot of misfires going on throughout this film. First off, for me, the 2 new songs. So the song No Place Like Home and The Girl in the Bubble, those were 2 songs that aren't in the stage play. So No Place Like Home, she is the one that she's singing to the animals as they're escaping underground.
Yeah.
And then The Girl in the Bubble is where she's singing at the bubble. Like, obviously, you've not seen the play. What did you think of those songs?
They didn't feel as strong, and it seems more so The Girl in the Bubble. Remember, they were written by the same person.
Yeah, they're both by Stephen Schwartz, who did the composer of the play.
Yeah, so it never even. I mean, the animals one, No Place Like Home. I thought, okay, that's a nice, clever thing. Didn't think anything of that. The other one, I just thought it was weaker. Mm-hmm. And obviously, it's 10, 15 years after the other ones are written.
20. It's the 20th anniversary, I think it was this last week.
There we go.
This last year. Yeah. It felt out of place, didn't it?
It just seemed, like I knew there was extra songs in there. Mm-hmm. I didn't know which ones they were, obviously. But it's like when they added extra songs into the real version of The Lion King.
Yeah.
Although I don't really care. I haven't seen it. Don't matter. But there's no need to do this stuff. And there's no need to make a 2.5-hour film into a 5-hour epic either. But 2025. So
yeah.
A lot of the stuff just didn't seem there compared to the first.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really put my finger on what that was. Maybe this is what this is as well. Like, it was expanded upon too much. like the Hobbit stuff was.
Yeah. Little bit. For me, it felt like it was a case of we can get an Oscar if we put some new music in here. So it feels kind of Oscar baity for me. And like, do you really need that? And I don't think either song added anything. And I felt like that was a bit of an issue and that's how we've ended up, as you say, with a 5-hour film rather than a 2.5-hour play, because they just kept adding these little bits in that didn't particularly add anything to it. Like Fiero and Glinda's wedding, it added nothing. It was rubbish. He could have just left her and then the story could have moved on. Dorothy was in it too much. And she wasn't even anybody. Like, she was just a shadow on screen occasionally. So she was just too much involved in it for my liking. Glinda's part in general felt like it was properly stretched out. She appeared in this film almost as much as Elfie, and Elfie's supposed to be the star. And I've seen so many people saying that Glinda Ariana Grande should be up for a Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Like, she's the fucking lead in this film with the amount of screen time she gets. But that's a farce of what the Oscar are like when you think about Zoe Saldana last year winning it for Best Supporting, when she's on screen longer than the woman who was nominated for leading actor. It doesn't make any sense. But it's all these little things that just added up to me being quite annoyed. The one addition that I really disliked, Stu, was the young Glinda's birthday party.
Oh, like, God.
It's bad. Like, it's really bad. And it's also a seed of why I think this is an incoherent film.
Yeah.
The kids in that scene were fucking horrendous for a start. Like, the acting was abysmal from all of them. They didn't know where to look. They were like fucking dead-eyeing the camera and stuff as they were talking. Like, no, that's not how you do it. That's not how you act like a human being on camera. Yeah. They were terrible.
And in a year 18 months when we've kind of praised almost every kid actor on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was completely pointless as well, because like, we know that she's a spoiled brat. That's the whole point. We don't need to be shown.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that scene tells us is that she's not magic, that she's not special, that she's a normal person who is obsessed with being special in spite of the fact that she just isn't. She's just like everyone else. And that's fine. But you can't do that and then fast forward to the end of the film with having Glinda opening up the Grimmery, the thing that only magical people can open. You can't do that. That your logic in your own film dictates that is not possible.
Yeah, like someone who... Well, yeah, again, spoilers.
Yeah, because that's a slight change from the actual stage play.
Yeah, it's... I never even thought of that. I thought, okay, this is a fairy tale, who cares? But it does... They break their own rule. I mean, if she'd gone there and she'd been accepted because this woman's took pity on her more than anything else, and she wants Elfie there more than anything else, and she's obviously useless, and obviously I presume the pedal in the bubble thing's in there as well. That's not been changed.
Yeah, that's in there as well. It is expanded on in the film, but it doesn't really make that much difference in the grand scheme of things, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, that is all you need to know.
Yeah.
You think, well, you've already seen
it. Really is.
The wizard is not who he says he is anyway, so it makes perfect sense for him to gift a contraption to show someone else that they are not who they seem as well. I mean, if they did that, then fine. And then, okay, she's gone all through this, and actually, she didn't need to do all this because she is magic all along. Bit cheesy. Doesn't really matter. It's a fairy tale film. But to do that whole thing with child her, which... Again, they didn't really match them very well. She looked nothing like her.
No, she didn't.
And then it does bring back that what colour is she supposed to be, because that's obviously a very, very white girl as the child. It's all a bit weird. I don't understand why it was there.
No, not at all. And I think with Glinda, like her story is how her privilege has gotten her further than it should have done. Like the story of Wicked is about the other. Obviously, Glinda being a stand-in for different races, for people of color, for Jewish people, I think was the actual point of when it was written, was about Jewish people being othered. So it is very much a case of Glinda's whiteness and pureness in spite of her ordinariness and her learning to accept that. And I don't get any of that in this film. Like, they set it up as it's going along, and then, oh no, fuck it, it's fine. Let's just rush the ending. Like, I've seen some theories saying that Elphaba opened it for her as a way to let her know that she's still alive. But Glinda cannot know that Elf is alive. That's the whole point of why they did what they did. Others were saying that, like, Glinda uses the Grimoire in the sequels to the book. Fine, but this isn't the book. This is the film with the rules that the film has set up and then pissed all over. So it's like it's a pointless rug pull. And even the director has said that they left the ending ambiguous so that the audience can make up its own mind, which honestly just sounds like some kind of bullshit someone says when they fucked it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh no, it's not shit. This is actually artistic interpretation. No, it's not. You just fucked it, mate. And that's how I feel about it. So that's what I've been stewing on for the weekend since we've seen it.
I'll be interested to see, without saying it to anyone else. The people who I know are going to see it this week, what they say about the ending. From a mixture of people who've seen the play and who haven't. If it is changed, we'll see. I think it's just is what it is. The fact that it never even crossed my mind. Oh yeah, okay, it's the end of this film about talking animals and goats being voiced by Peter Dinklage.
To be fair, though, that's because you've had 5 hours of it. By that point, you are like, yeah, just end it now because this has gone on a little bit.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. And although, obviously, I watched it just 12 hours apart from each other. I wonder if you could watch the whole thing in one go. If it would be too much.
I think you could. I think that a better director, better writer, better editor could have made a single film. It would be a long film. It would be what was the Architect film that was out earlier this year? The Brutalist, nearly 4 hours long. This would be a good sort of 3.5 hours, and you'd probably need a 5-10 minute intermission. But I think that would have been a better film, and I think the pacing would have been a lot better of both films had they have done that.
Well, we said that when we came out, Damien, that it felt like the first one was about right, and then this should have been about 1.5 hours max, which would put you just over 4 hours.
Yeah.
So maybe there'll be someone will do it, or maybe they do it themselves and release the full cut like Kill Bill.
Maybe. But the problem is I would expect them to do it and then put an extra hour of shit in there rather than edit it down. That's my issue now, is I just don't trust them. The CG, I also hated most of the CG. The Wonderful song, which I quite like that song, the one by the Wizard, when he's doing the keepy uppies with the balloon globe thing. There are parts where his hand is quite clearly through the balloon, and parts where his hand is like there's a gap between him and the balloon, but the balloon still moves like he touches it. And I just don't understand how you can spend that much money on making this and make such schoolboy errors with these things. They look terrible. The flashback where we see Goldblum's face transposed, I balked at that. I fucking audibly balked. I thought it was a horrible view. And then, of course, I don't have is it trypophobia, the fear of holes in skin.
Oh, yeah.
But when I saw the Scarecrow, I got it. Like, I could see why people had it because I felt so uncomfortable. It was sickening seeing that view. It all looked terrible.
Hessian Deadpool, as I said at the time.
Hessian Deadpool, you did, yeah. It felt like it. I didn't like it.
I thought it looked good. It just looked terrifying. And I thought the animals were good, though, on the whole, as whatever you can do with talking animals.
Mm-hmm.
Until they start talking, it's always pretty easy by the looks of it now. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's obviously some kind of tiger thing. Okay, whatever it is, and all the ducks and stuff are easy. But yeah, the goat, perfect, no problem there. But yeah, like it seemed like they'd gone all out on the animals, and probably understandably so. And we always talk about how much of the set that they actually did build for unnecessary reasons. But when you do go, I mean, it looks worse than the de-aging stuff in X-Men when the first time they did it to Patrick Stewart and he looks plastic.
Yeah.
It looked like that.
It did.
Because it's obviously Jeff Goldblum taken from a other film, probably one that they own, rather than de-aged, because it doesn't match his skin colour on his neck.
It doesn't. It reminded me, do you remember in This Time with Alan Partridge? There's that bit where he goes back to school and they've just superimposed Partridge's face onto a child. It's really unsettling. That's how I felt watching it. I didn't like it.
And again, they didn't need to even do it. Like, it was obvious.
Yeah, we knew that. It was obvious in the first film, wasn't it?
As soon as he started dancing around, I thought, oh, okay. Again, like
he keeps drinking from the bottle that we see the partner with in the first film. Like, it wasn't really a pullback and reveal. I mean, it was obvious from day one.
I hadn't thought about it because the bottle at the start of the first film is a long time ago at this point.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, whatever. But it's a green bottle as well, so I think, oh, of course. But all you needed to do was go back, show him drinking the bottle, putting the bottle on the table like he does in the first scene.
Mm-hmm. He's
got the bottle in his hand. There, job done. And then he does that incredibly camp thing with his hands to his mouth. But I mean, it's a bit like in Rogue One, where they do everything but when they're showing Leia talking to our programming the message.
Yeah.
Go, oh, great. And then it turns around and shows it and it completely ruins it for no reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, too much.
It's uncanny valley vibes, isn't it? It's not pleasant to look at.
In a film, like you already mentioned, they show Dorothy all the time without showing her.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do it. They know how to do it. Bizarre.
Yeah. Very strange. My final negative then, Stu, I don't know if you've got anything to say after. The final time that Glinda and Alfie were together, it was the bit where they were fighting each other and they were slapping and then the guards capture her and then Fiyero rescues her. It was too light for something that should be a monumental anger between these two characters, because obviously Glinda has been left at the altar and like it should have been big and powerful, and it was a bitch fight and it just didn't have the balls that it needed. I don't think it felt far too light. When the rest of this film, like everything else in this film, is really fucking dark. So I didn't like it because that should have been building to that moment, and it felt so throwaway.
I thought it was like a callback to when they were in the dorm room together. That's why I thought it was like the way it was, rather than it being light. I mean, I thought when they bitch slap each other, I thought they're going to kiss each other in a minute. That's the kind of vibe. The kind of vibe it was giving off.
There is a sapphic element to this story, and I don't know how much of that has been brought on by the fan base, like worshipping these two women, or quite what. But there is definitely, gay overtones between those two characters. I believe in the book as well that is something that is there. But you are right. Look, I do think it was a callback. But I think it's just out of place in how it was handled, because they could have called it back, but kept it passionate and angry and not. It felt like a fucking Marvel film. Like I expected someone to make a snarky one-liner, and it was just out of place with the rest of the tone. But the problem is the Marvelification of cinema has kind of ruined quite a lot of it. So a lot of things do hark back to that, unfortunately. In the modern day, that is.
Predator Badlands was a Marvel film, and you love that.
Yeah, it's good. Like, I'm not saying that everything shit in cinema is Marvel's fault. Some of the good stuff is as well. But a Marvel film in a film that has been as dark and heavy as For Good has been, it doesn't work.
It was all over the place, to be fair, and it wasn't just this part. There was parts where you'd go from kill the witch, and then seconds later they're like looking around the corner. We don't really mean it, do we? It kind of switched backwards and forwards all the time, and maybe it's an analogy for the premise of deception and all this kind of stuff. I doubt it, but it sounds stupid to say that it seemed rushed at times because of how long it is, but it did, and I didn't get that in the first one.
No, I think that's fair. Any takeaways, Stu? I've got a couple of things written down. If you want to have a think about it, I'll read out mine. My main takeaways from the film: John M. Chu is not a good storyteller. A better writer, director could have made a very good adaptation of the play. There's just too much fluff in this movie to make it as effective as I think it really deserved to be, because it is a good play. Avoid the interviews of the pair of them because they are fucking insufferable.
Yeah.
And I would say go and see it for Cynthia Erivo and for Jonathan Bailey's performances, because they were good. And like, the music in this is mostly good, bar the two new songs, which I think are like, they obviously don't feel part of this. So those are my main takeaways from this. Anything to add, Stu?
Yeah, obviously, if you watch part one, you need to watch this anyway. Just temper your expectations at the door first. You might be pleasantly surprised if you go in not expecting the world. Just a bit of a missed opportunity, really, more than anything else. That it seemed like it was. After being so high on it again for an entire year and the day before, to then be kind of let down in that way, it was a bit disappointing, really. But yeah, anytime them two are on any kind of interview circuit, I avoid like the plague, because they are terrible people. But you can't deny them. I thought Ariana Grande, she was good anyway. In this, I think she played it well. You don't necessarily have to like her, but she did what she had to do in this. It's not her fault that she's on screen all the time. But yeah, I don't think there was really a bad performance other than the kids that we already mentioned.
Michelle Yeoh, she can't sing for shit.
She can't sing.
I think she's a great actor. She's not a singer.
She shouldn't be in this film. Like Pierce Brosnan can't sing. I get that the fans of the stuff and they want to be involved and whatever, but the whole point is that it's a musical. You get people who can sing.
Well, apparently she turned this film down several times, and Chu and Cynthia Erivo kept begging her to do it. She kept saying no, and eventually I think they wore her down. But I'm like, surely you should have just carried on saying no at this point, because you're embarrassingly bad in this movie.
Yeah. It's been the Pierce Brosnan example has now been worsened with her. Because she just can't do it. It's like, I know I can't sing anything ever, so I don't do karaoke because I know it's embarrassing for everyone involved. Other than singing Andreas Johnson Glorious, which I can do that amazingly well. That's the only thing ever. But even then, that's after a several amount to drink. But I wouldn't do karaoke because why would I want to? I embarrass myself every day of the week.
This is it. Like, I would be embarrassed because I'm so bad, but I'm so bad that you, as the viewer, would also be embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No one's going to win there.
Yeah,
it's just one of them things. Like, you could have got Dawn French can actually sing. Mm-hmm. I don't like Dawn French really, but she would have been better than she is in this, and a proper kind of age
Waddingham.
as well.
Hannah Waddingham was up for that role as well, apparently. And the more I think about it, the more I think Waddingham would have been fucking brilliant in this movie.
Yeah, but she would have taken over. It wouldn't have been fair.
As well, I saw a clip earlier of Rachel Zegler singing one of Glinda's songs. And now I'm just really annoyed that we didn't get Rachel Zegler in this movie and instead got her in that terrible fucking Snow White movie. Because I think she would have been brilliant in this.
She's, I don't know about that woman. She's
very good. Like, I loved her in West Side Story. Just fucking tremendous in that movie.
Yeah, she was good in there. But you know what would have happened, so there's no point. She would have got backlash again. Maybe not for the not necessarily for the right reasons. I mean, a film with someone who's green,
completely undeserved, but she's tremendous.
But again,
I think she's been a really good Glinda. To be fair,
she can't help herself with opening her mouth, can she? Which is a problem. So, I think as an overall takeaway, I thought it was all right. I enjoyed it after the fact, and I will watch it again, obviously next year when it comes out, and I'll watch them. It seems like it's a part of, like how Lord of the Rings was part of Christmas for them 3-4 years. This is what Wicked seems to be now. I mean, it doesn't necessarily deserve to be on the Christmas rotation, but they both come out at this time of year. That's what I'm going to associate it with now. So I'll watch them both back to back next year, and maybe I might watch them in the same day and answer my own question a year later.
Might help, to be fair, watching them in one go.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I've watched the extended Lord of the Rings editions once, all in one day. That was because you got the natural break of the disc swap, haven't you? So there's your inbuilt toilet break. But
I've done the 6 Star Wars films before the new trilogy came out. That was a lot. That's too much.
My old manager, Andy Johnston, I doubt very much he listened to this. On Star Wars Day, he watched all 10 of them, including Rogue One. He got up early to watch them all in one go. He just sat in his garage in one place and just watched them back to back.
How depressing does that sound? I watched 10 films, sat in my garage alone. Oh, incredible. Anyway, we're talking superhero stuff after the break. Hello and welcome to Cage Fighting. It's your main man, Andy Gillard here. Hope everybody's keeping well out there.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I am alive. Although, a week without Twitter's been quite glorious, to be fair. I haven't missed it, which let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way. And if there's some fat bird who looks a bit like Ash that gets a mysterious DM that is nothing to do with me, and I'm not even on there anymore for now, then there we are. Cloud hacks alike everywhere ever since. Who's justified? Moi again. Hello everyone. I'm back.
Ash, the reason that you look so confused with your name is the girl who Stu DM'd allegedly hack looked like Ed, who was obviously on last week. So we think that that's the link.
Oh, okay. The pic in the mirror was stunning.
Was it though?
I don't know.
No.
I was walking around Disney at the time. I was in Disney at the time, and then I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Thing is, 2 separate people sent the thing to me, and I was like, "But I've just been recording with these 2. How's this happened?" And then I was like, "It's the most generic thing ever." And then I went on there, and the first Google AI result is messages sent from accounts with your name that you haven't sent is a prime example of phishing. I thought, oh, okay, there we are then. And then I tried to send it, and then it was all gone. So everyone had a good old time with it, but it was utterly bizarre. But at least it's not been taken over like Todd's was for now.
Yeah, sexy sexual is Todd's Twitter now. Like it's a fucking cesspool, isn't it? But what can you do? Evening, Ash. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Obviously not as interesting as Stu's week, but all fun.
Super. It's become a bit of an annual thing where we talk about the superhero stuff around this time of year. 2 years ago, we had the Heroes in Crisis article in Variety, I think it was, Stu. Is that right?
It was Variety or Esquire. It was one or the other.
Yeah, something like that. And then obviously last year we looked at 12 months on, and now it's 24 months on, I suppose. So I suppose from now on, November is superhero month on Cage Fighting Pod. So I think, really, if we look at the last 12 months of superhero cinema, I suppose you've got to start with the big one, Kraven the Hunter, and the end of the Sony Spider-Verse. They made some money, Sony did, over the years doing these Spider-Verse films. But at its best, it was adequate. And at its worst, it was Morbius. So, Stu, putting the bullet in the head, was it right? Is that what they should do?
I mean, yeah, obviously. I think the fact that the first Venom film being the highlight of it all kind of says everything about it. And Venom, it was absolutely fine. I never even saw the last one.
Like, wow, that's I mean, coming from you who watch all of this stuff, that's a low bar to clear, and it was terrible. Like I preferred the second one of the Venom stuff, but like none of them were particularly good, if I'm being brutally honest.
Yeah, I really didn't like the second one, and that's the thing. Me watching all of this stuff, it properly put me off that much that I didn't even bother. And I watched Kraven the Hunter because it was the end, and everyone was already mocking it anyway. But we'd peaked too soon last year with Madam Web, and we talked about that enough. And what a masterpiece that is. But it was just very meh. It was just there. And it's like, yeah, this sums up this whole experiment. It's not worked. You can see why they tried it. Stay with your Spider-Verse stuff.
Yeah. Like, Ash, realistically, that is the issue, isn't it? There's no Spider-Man in the Sony Spider-Verse, so why would anyone give a shit?
I kind of likened it. I can't remember what the name of the company is. You know, when they used to do the parody films of, like, the big films. That's what I treated the Sony universe, Sony comic book universe as, because they were all shite, but some of them were quite fun for how shite they were. But yeah, without having the main Spider himself, you're on the hiding to nothing, really.
I think they had a chance because we ended up with Tom Hardy's Venom in the MCU. There was that tiny little crossover, and it led to nothing, or at least nothing that we've seen yet. Whether or not it comes back up in the MCU proper, who knows? But in terms of the Sony verse, it didn't help in the slightest. If anything, it hampered it because it just, like, when you're comparing apples to oranges with that, it just made them look so far behind where they needed to be to make anything of any worth. And especially when superhero films have kind of faltered. The Sonyverse did well until the bottom fell out a little bit of superhero comic book movies, and then all of a sudden people just sort of turned on it completely. So whereas we've had films that made decent money, all of a sudden it just, like, they weren't even cleaning their noses with the turnover they were getting. It went from 0 to 60 and then back to 0 again pretty quickly there.
I think it was the moment where they didn't get the joke and they re-released Morbius.
Yeah,
I think that was it, because everyone. Yeah, I mean, that's at least that had funny bits, unintentional funny bits. At least Madam Web had funny bits. But Kraven the Hunter, which we're supposed to be talking about, was just so dull that we're talking about everything else.
I struggle to tell you anything that happened in it other than the guy wore a backpack and turned into a rhino skin, which I kind of liked that idea more than the rhino that we got in Tom Holland's. Oh, it was Garfield, wasn't it? Yeah, I kind of liked that.
Paul Giamatti, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
What a shame.
I preferred the Kraven version of it to that, but in terms of a film, it was not an interesting movie in the slightest. And of course, it was Russell Crowe doing an accent, which that doesn't go down well, does it?
No.
Did you see Russell Crowe on Joe Rogan the other week?
No.
It was just the whole episode was just smoke, just everywhere.
All right.
And he's talking about his Holocaust film, which was a nice thing to talk about. But he's very strange man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Apparently, it's got decent reviews because I saw it advertised and I thought it's gonna be Russell Crowe doing a German accent, and they're talking about the Holocaust. I think he plays Goebbels, so I thought in no way is that going to be good, and it's ended up being he actually gives a good performance, which we know he's capable of. It's just that he doesn't do it very often anymore. So yeah, it might be one to add to your Christmas list, I think, when we get there.
Oh, what a joyful thing to watch at Christmas, that is.
That's it. You can do a double header with Schindler's List. So that's the Sonyverse done and dusted. I can't see them coming back. Do they just give all of their characters back to the MCU now, Ash, do you think? Do you think we'll see Venom and the other Rogues Gallery return to MCU and just folded into that? Or even given a fresh lick of paint?
I think... I don't know how they'll do it with the contractual, because obviously they're never going to give Spidey up, are they? As long as they can, because he still just makes money probably just from the games alone.
Mm-hmm.
What did I read? I don't know if it's going too far ahead with Daredevil, but didn't D'Onofrio say basically, what was it, Kingpin can't be in the films or something like that?
He can't star in the films.
Yeah, something like that. So I imagine they'll probably want to keep the bigger ones as far away as possible, just to be dicks.
They might do. But you've got to think, Stu, from Sony's point of view, if the only way they're going to make money outside of the Spider-Verse animated films, they may as well sign a new deal and say you can have the live action rights, but we'll take 5% or whatever it's going to be. At this point, I think that's the only way that they're going to get anything out of live action Spider-Man now, because you're not going to create a universe of villains without a hero to fight them.
No, and I think that's probably right. I mean, they are. I mean, the way they've gone about it is just, you can see why they did it, but it hasn't worked. And you look at with the whole Hulk thing still with Universal, and that being the same thing, that they can't make an individual Hulk film without paying them a shitload of money, and they just don't need to anyway.
Yeah,
but they already. You can see with the game stuff that they already are starting to license things out to PC anyway, like PC day and date releases of certain things. So it looks like they are softening on certain stuff, but like I said, they ain't going to give it up. They'll be wanting something back, and it makes sense for them just to say, okay, here you go. We'll have our 30% cut of whatever, and be perfectly happy with doing absolutely nothing for it. Just licensing out something that they bought in the first place.
Licensing out back to the company they've licensed it from. Like that's fucking 4D chess. That is incredible. Onto the Spider-Verse, the MCU. So, yeah, the proper home of the Spider-Verse, I suppose. So, a little over 12 months ago, we had Agatha All Along, which was hot shit for a minute, and it feels like the conversation completely vanished following Agatha All Along. Stu, did the people miss out on it? Was there anything of worth there?
It got better. It got better as it went along. I mean, I didn't like her anyway. When we talked about the nonsense that she came from in the first place, neither of us liked it, but WandaVision was beloved by a lot of people. So who are we to say? But she did have a What If episode. I mean, What If was 12 months ago as well. We never talked about it last year because I think it was mid-December when it came out.
Mm-hmm. It was an episode a day over Christmas.
Oh, well, there we are. Then we never really talked about it. That episode, I think you'd actually really like that episode with the guy from Shang-Chi. No, it's from Eternals. Eternals. The guy from Eternals, the Bollywood star.
Oh, yes. Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, and he is in there with his likeness and his voice in it as well. And it's a big kind of Bollywood Hollywood production thing of her becoming draining the energy from under the earth and one of the sentinels and all that kind of stuff. And it's one of the better uses of the what if format. And I know you didn't like it anyway, but there's certain ones that are a lot better than the others, and that was one of the good ones in that season. But
like, I've only obviously seen part of the first one, and it was very uneven. It felt like when it was good, but when it was bad, it was unwatchable.
Yeah, and the whole thing, it's supposed to be an anthology, and then you had certain episodes that followed on to others throughout the whole season, and it's like, well, okay, we've got Captain Carter, we've seen that, we don't need to see again and again and again and again and again. And yeah, it's Hayley Atwell doing voiceovers, which we know she can't really do very well. But yeah, it was okay. But it's been largely forgotten as well. Even though Agatha all along was in that for that episode and later on, but it just seems to be everything's all circling and waiting for the for Doomsday now. Like, all these things are just going to get called back. How much screen time they have then, who knows? But it ain't going to be much.
You wouldn't think so. We've also had Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Have either of you watched this? I believe it's an animated series set with Peter Parker in high school.
I blitzed it in like a day and a half. It was fine. It's obviously, unfortunately, like you say, it's always going to suffer because the animated movies exist. So it's never going to be that, but I think it's probably more aimed towards your younger generation of things, because pretty much you can market Spider-Man to every age group ever.
And you've got Spidey and his amazing friends as well, and there's an Iron Man version of that, and also
that's been renewed as well, hasn't it? The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
It has, yeah. We're getting another one of those in the next 12 months. Daredevil Born Again. Like, I really liked. I've only watched the first 2 seasons of the next Netflix versions. They were hard hitting, and it wasn't MCU stuff really. Like, it didn't feel tonally anywhere near it. Ash, did they manage to keep that tone going when it's on Disney?
Yeah, good shit. It's probably the best MCU thing this year by a clear mile, I'd say.
Oh, wow, okay. Stu, were you a big fan of this one?
It felt exactly the same as what it did before. The fact that it was on Netflix on Disney Plus under Star to start with. I don't know if that's been changed to Hulu now. And I know you had to put a thing in, your code in. But they kept it like it was. It wasn't watered down, really. We never really got to the height of the one shot because that was revolutionary. It was special at the time, but there was some pretty good episodes and good scenes in it where you think, okay, like you just said, it's not even close. It's almost like 8, 9 out of 10. This season, and it's like everyone's just putting their old slippers back on. Everyone just sliding back into their role perfectly. And D'Onofrio's a bit smaller than he was before. But even so, it didn't really matter because he's kind of going for the mayor and he's all that kind of his different role now rather than being completely evil. But yeah, it was good, and I'm glad it's been renewed.
One show which I've only heard negative things about, and I don't know if it's negative because it's review bombing or if it's negative because it's dog shit. Ironheart was another. I think that was the last of the TV shows that we've had during this period.
Dog shit.
I know I spoke to you about it, Stu, previously, and you're saying like there's some real, like the issues were with Riri because her character was really inconsistently portrayed throughout the show. Did it ever get any better, or is it just another one of these Disney Plus things where it's just filling a gap? It's just hashtag content.
I know when we talked about it at the time, and Ash had already seen the or heard of what was going to happen.
Oh no, I'd seen it.
The Ali G thing.
Yeah. and like the last 2 episodes were the best part of it for me. It was so plodding, and it was so. I think like we said at the time that it just seemed too much. Like, you've gone from we know where she's come from. and we know all this stuff, and it's years and years after. But you got Tony Stark, who's a genius, making an Iron Man suit in a cave. Yeah, it's a bit far fetched. But then to have something as polished and nice as the Ironheart suit that she had, and now it's property of the university, and all this years later, it seemed a bit. It went a bit too far, and there was all like the tick boxy stuff of the time, and the guy with the sidekick with a lipstick on, and you think, oh, come on, there's no need for this stuff in this. Like, we know why he's here, we know why he's acting like this, and he's dressed like this, and he looks like this. It was just a bit distracting, and it seemed a bit of its time. Like, that wouldn't get commissioned now. Like, you just no way. And the fact that you're looking for things like that just jump out because the rest of it's so shit and boring. That it's another one where it could have been a half-hour special, like the one shot things that they used to do, Marvel one shot, that it was like between 10, 15 minutes extra on the DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it could have been like that, just explaining where this is going to lead to, because that's really all you got out of it. It was pointless.
Ash, is this a bit of an issue with some of the TV series? Obviously, with a film, you get 2 to 3 hours to get introduced to a character. These aren't the deepest characters in the world. So do we need 14 hours worth of TV shows to get to grips with somebody who doesn't have the depth?
Well, the way for Ironheart and Riri, the biggest problem I had, and I don't know if it's the same for Stu, but I thought she wasn't likable. I didn't like her character. And then you compare it to what's her face, the Marvels girl.
Yeah,
and she
Imaine Vellani. I can't remember her character name, but
she was fun.
But she was fun, and she made you want to watch like her series because you rooted for her, and even through the Marvels, you rooted for her. Whereas this girl, nah, sorry, not. If you've got how many episodes did she have? 6.
6, yeah.
6, and you're going to need to use that 6 to make you stand out and make people want to come and see you again. Nah, whether it was her or the writing, they've thrown her under a bus properly. It's horrible.
Yeah, and you look at the Marvels, which gets university panned for a bit harshly, really. But she stood out in that because she was fun. Because Miss Marvel was a fun character, and you look at who else is in that film as well, and she stole the show. She was great, and she came from a TV show, so it's not always the end of the world. And I liked the Miss Marvel series. I thought it was somewhat different compared to all the other stuff that we get here. And we were talking about the cultural things before, like we were talking about having Black Panther and other things on the list last week with Ed. But that was good. This was not good. It's nothing to do with it being a woman or whatever. It's just because it was boring.
Yeah.
It's a damning indictment. On the big screen, we had Captain America: Brave New World.
Yes.
Harrison Ford in the MCU. I mean, like, Harrison Ford, he's one of the great... Like, I don't think he's the greatest actor. I think he's one of the greatest film stars. Like, I think you put him in a film, he's always going to be good. He's got the chops, but he's got the presence as well. Stu, did he deliver in Brave New World?
I thought he was fine. I mean, he's of a certain age now where he doesn't seem like he knows everything's there. When he was introducing the Indiana Jones game last year at the Gamescom or the Game Awards, and he didn't quite understand what was going on. But it's tough because obviously he had to be recast because the guy died, so that was sad. So what do? Do you bring an unknown in for a role that he has to be the star in, or do you go Harrison Ford? You know what you're going to do there. It would have been better if he had a Tash just because, but you never got to get
Thunderbolt Ross. He should have a Tash. Yeah,
you know, and
they retconned it in 5 seconds though. That was quite well done.
Yeah, I thought how they're going to get around it, and they did it perfectly. And I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it as much as other people did, but I haven't seen it since though. Normally at this point I'd watch it again. within the same year because that's how it's gone for the last decade and a bit. But it was all right. Again, I wish they'd have kept certain things under wraps, and obviously their own trailer ruined it as always. But it was just a fun romp to start the year. It was nothing else. It was just, but the fact that you had to have done. We are at the stage now where you have to do your homework, and if you haven't, then there's no point coming.
Ash, you pulled a face when he said it was a fun romp. I'm guessing you don't agree.
If I said that they've thrown Riri under the fucking bus, Anthony Mackie must be punching walls because he's just been fed shit since he's come in. After he came from being Steve Rogers' mate and he's Captain America, his show was mostly shit. And this was just, yeah, whatever. Sure.
Did they touch on any of the hashtag not my Captain America storyline? So in the comic books, when I was going to call him Bucky, it's not Bucky. When Falcon became Captain America, one of the stories was literally that the people in the comic book world didn't want a black Captain America. Did they touch on that in the film at all?
Not so much him being black, it's just the fact that he wasn't Steve. There was a lot of that, and there was a lot of that in the series anyway, wasn't there? So they kind of already covered it to some extent. But it obviously wasn't as hard-hitting as the comics, and he was like, well, he was never going to be with this kind of thing.
It just kind of feels like that's such a big part of it. Like he's him being an African-American, he's a big part of his character, that to kind of ignore it feels like it's doing a disservice to the character there, almost.
No, they went into it in the series, I don't know, that's what I mean. So they've...
I don't think they went in enough.
Again, you have to watch more homework.
Yeah, you have to do work.
I mean, I've seen that, and I didn't think it touched on it anywhere near enough. Like, it intimated it, and there's the bits with the... I can't remember the other character's name. It's been that long.
The old guy.
I just don't think they went anywhere near deep enough on it. And maybe that's a criticism of the MCU, is that a lot of it is very surface level, isn't it? It's not going to get into the looking for a message in the madness, is it? I don't think so. Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
There was a bit too much politics in that film, really. Considering you watching the trailers afterwards to see what they ruined for themselves, and it is all smashy bang bang, and yet that probably was about 80% of the smashy bang bang in the entire film. There was a lot of talking and a lot of walking down corridors and the kind of what's occurring because of what's happened since and blah, 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 blah. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And you could see that our effective budget has run out and we can't put people into slavery anymore. We have to do things properly.
A fantastic waste of Giancarlo Esposito as well. Well done, guys. Good job.
Terrible. We got the end of Phase 5 with Thunderbolts ***. I've actually seen this one. I was told this was one of the best films of the MCU for a while, and I thought it was kind of dull, to be perfectly honest. It had Florence Pugh in. I should love this shit, and it just did nothing for me. I know it was supposed to be an exploration of mental health and, dealing with difficult shit and PTSD and stuff. And again, it was just such a surface level reading of it that there was no depth to it. And I came away quite disappointed in it, if I'm perfectly honest. Ash, am I being harsh here, or is this just how it is now with the Marvel stuff?
I think you set the bar high, because what did you say? It's the best MCU film in a while.
For a while, yeah.
Well, it is. That's the problem. apart from Guardians 3, then tell me what's better.
Let's have a look.
What was that? May 23. So we're looking at 2 years. We've had the stuff we're talking about now and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah,
is that it?
That's better. Yeah, I'd challenge anyone to come and tell me what's been better. Like, it's not a high hurdle. It's the best that the MCU's had to offer.
Makes sense then.
Here we go.
Yeah, so if you look at Phase 5, in Phase 5, you've got Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Plop.
Speaks for itself. Guardians 3, The
Yep.
Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine, Brave New World, Thunderbolts. It's not great, is it? That.
No.
But then you go back to, again, Phase 4, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Wakanda Forever.
So should we go with Shang-Chi as the best out of them? That's 5 years ago.
Shang-Chi was September the 3rd, 2021, so 4 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 4, sorry. But still, that's 4 years ago. Yeah, say, it's not a big hurdle. It wasn't
not,
great,
is it?
but no.
Gee.
But again, like you said, we're in a holding pattern, aren't we, sadly?
Yeah, it does feel like it's treading water, just making sure that you remember it's out there so you don't like fly away and stop watching it altogether.
Yep.
Stu, any thoughts on Thunderbolts? I mean, we've spoke at length about how they fucked up their own marketing by telling you the twist within 24 hours of the film actually dropping.
Yeah, and
it's not good.
It wasn't even a twist. So it was a throwaway gag at the end of the film, which it could have just been there the whole time or not at all. Didn't make any sense.
I didn't like. So was it the post credit when they was talking, and he said that Anthony Mackie's character he is suing us for the use of the name. That was one of the lines that he was suing them, wasn't it? And I'm like, that's not what Captain America would do. Like that doesn't fit his character. And again, it just seems like another representation of these are just superheroes. Like they don't actually have enough character. Like I'm a big Sebastian Stan fan. He's one of the best actors in the MCU. There aren't many who can match him, but you wouldn't know that if you've only seen his MCU stuff. And it feels like he was kind of wasted here.
He loves it though. He's going to do it forever. I mean, he's in like, all the ones. I mean, there's certain I mean, obviously the big ones don't play in What If, but Sebastian Stan's always there all the time. Whenever Bucky's in an episode, even if it's like 3 lines, he's always there. So what are you doing this for? Just do something else. But he seems to genuinely love it.
Did I miss something in between Brave New World and Thingy? When did Sam and Bucky fall out? Or are we just supposed to just go, yeah, sure, whatever? Are we going to get to that, or?
I don't think. I don't remember I don't remember it happening.
Because Bucky and Sam were thick as thieves by the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then we're suing him. It's like, all right, cool.
I think
Can we get some backstory?
Yeah, I think it's just one of them things where you can clearly see that it's been moved around so much that there's certain stuff, like the woman who is at the end of Black Widow, and she's never really been anything else other than TV stuff. Like
Valentina.
When she recruits him, when she recruits Fake Cap, and you see her again, and then I think she might have been in some of the spin-off things. But again, it's like we know that was not supposed to be in that order, so you've already messed it all up. And he just looks like a throwback to something like that. That there probably was something in the middle, and it was erased. And it might have been referenced in Ironheart, and it was taken out. So it's like, okay, this is one of these things. Like, oh yeah, we were together in the last film, and now we're divorced, and now we'll get back together again. It's one of them things.
Terrible, isn't it?
It's the same company that will do all the promo for Thunderbolts, and the film's not even out yet. Oh look, here's the cast list for Doomsday. There's a load of chairs. Oh look, Taskmaster's not there. I wonder what's about to happen. Oh shit! Fucking dickheads. Dickheads.
Terrible. We then got Phase 6 kicking off with the Fantastic Four First Steps, complete with a Manhattan which never experienced the crashing of the World Trade Center. # never forget. That's another thing. That should be forgotten because that was such a drab film. At no point did I feel that was really the Fantastic Four. Like there was no camaraderie between the four of them. You didn't feel there was much of a bond between them, and I was so disappointed because we've all watched The Bear. We know what Cousin's like. We know what Eben's like, and we got none of that. We got none of that charismatic, snide arseholeness that he could have pulled in. And you've got Johnny Storm doing very little. Like, there was nothing Johnny Storm about his character. Pedro was criminally underutilized, and so was Sue Storm as well. Like, it was just another film, and it really put me off wanting to watch anything Marvel again, if I'm being brutally honest. Stu?
Yeah, it was. I think we kind of got it in our heads, haven't we, that this was going to be better, and that's probably our own fault that we expected more. And me being confused. I mean, them confusing me because of what was at the end of the Marvels with the ship from Fantastic Four. Oh, was it Thunderbolts? Yeah. See, exactly, it all blends into one. So you have a previous film that kind of hints at something else, and then that something else comes out, and then it ends, and it's not even referenced what the hell that even was. I think, okay, that's from a future, not the future that is in your next film that's the same name. It's just all very confusing, shitty, and I think going into it expecting them to then get back to whatever Earth the MCU is, and then that not happening, I was just like, okay, I kind of wish I hadn't known this in the first place. And so it's just then the end, and okay, it ends in this place. So what was the point of this? It was frustrating more than anything else.
It felt like a filler episode of a TV series. This did.
The best
having
part...
now seen Thunderbolts, and as you say, you've got that ending where you show the Fantastic Four ship, and this clearly happens before that. So this just felt like it was a filler episode, but it didn't fill anything in. They could literally step off the Fantastic Four ship in I think it's 616 is the MCU universe. So they could just step off that ship and say, we're the Fantastic Four, and be in exactly the same place as they would be now, which is, or what's the point in spending 200 million on making a dog shit film then, if that's all you need?
They spent a whole film to introduce the child. That's all it is. A bit like how they kind of... Hey, Captain Marvel was kind of just added at the last minute. And, oh, yeah, now she's here to save the world. And it's like, yeah, this should have been years ago. Just to... But I think that... No, I was just going. The best part of that Fantastic Four was the montage. That was it.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, the most interesting bit is when they're in the World Conference or whatever the conference is, and they're spanning. The camera spans around the chairs, and then whatever Latveria is it Latveria?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And his chair's empty, and you're just like, I get you, I see you there, and that was it. Like, apart from that, whatever. Like, there's nothing else of interest because obviously everyone's in their head of Doom, and is Doom going to appear at some point? So you're just like, that kept the tag going, and then fuck all apart from right at the end.
Mm-hmm. Very poor. Eyes of Wakanda, I've heard nobody mention this. I remember a few years ago talking about like the future of Marvel slate and this being announced, and it sounded quite interesting. And like, I didn't know until I was writing up the notes for this podcast that it had even been released. Animated anthology series set during different periods of time in Wakanda. Stu, anything on this one?
I'll put it on my Disney Plus watch list straight away and haven't bothered.
Not a good sign, is it?
The animated stuff's been good. Like I said, I liked What If, but it's just there. It's just more, and there's other things to do, and like there's plenty of time for this stuff. It'll fill the time after Christmas. But Wakanda's one of them things. It all gets a bit much, really. It's all names that you can't pronounce, and it all kind of blends into one. And Wakanda Forever was awful. I didn't like it at all. But both times I watched it, I gave it a second chance, and it was still bad. It's not my favourite part of the MCU, really. So, I mean, obviously I will watch it in time for the next film, because that's how these things go. but it was never going to be a priority, and I completely forgot about it even until you put it on the list.
Ash, have you cast your eyes over this one?
No, I completely forgot about it as well. Was it not? I don't know. Was it? Isn't it kind of like Killer of Killers, and it's a history sort of. These are the Black Panthers throughout history and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Nah, I'm good.
What about Marvel Zombies? Because that was the highlight of the What If, was the Zombies episode, and now obviously they've done a series of it. Did you bother with that?
Oh, I enjoyed Marvel Zombies. I thought that was good fun.
I got it saved for Halloween and then forgot about it again as well.
I suppose that doesn't particularly matter because it's separate universe nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it'll be like a throwaway reference. Like I know in the Doctor Strange Sanctum Sanctorum Lego set, there's a zombie Strange in there from Multiverse, which is quite fun. But yeah, it is what it's again. Like you just said, it doesn't really matter. And I hadn't been on Disney Plus for ages until I went on for. I mean, we'll mention it later because it's literally the last thing that they've bought out this year. That you won't. It probably does count if you're counting Multiverse, but still. And then I realised, oh yeah, all this stuff is on my watch list. I just don't go on there very, very often.
I mean, it's a terrible fucking app, isn't it, Disney? So, like, why would you bother? Like, I do think they almost need to pair up with Netflix or somebody just to get better eyes on it, because I don't think it's good. And obviously we keep getting like 20, 30, 40, 50% price hikes on Disney. They're almost pricing themselves out of the market. So I don't think they do themselves any favours, to be perfectly honest. Stu, what would you grade the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like A to F, if you was giving it a school report for the last 12 months? Where would this be? Would it be failing, succeeding? What do you reckon?
It's not succeeding. There was, I mean, for me, it's probably talking D. It's not Eternals. I mean, even that I've kind of softened on the third.
Because everything else has been so bad lately.
Yeah, and it kind of, so yeah, okay, it's took this long to get some kind of acceptance of this nonsense, but yeah, it's just flattering to deceive, and you go from, oh yeah, okay, Captain America was all right, and then I thought, oh, okay, I enjoyed Thunderbolts more than you two, and then you have Fantastic Four and it's back down to again, and I thought, and then the series that we both wishlisted and not bothered with because it's all a bit fatigued. So I think probably a low, like D minus, I guess.
Wow. I mean, coming from like the hardest of hardcore of this stuff, that's quite bad. Ash, are you going to be even harsher than Stu?
No, because I think they've put every egg in Doomsday basket, haven't they? I think this is a let's get through this year. Let's sort of do what we can. Just throw #content out on the odd films that we need to remind everyone where we're going. But if Doomsday doesn't deliver, then the pitchforks need to come out, because that's Endgame. That's Endgame. That's we're at Infinity War levels there now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not going to be Infinity War. We should know that, because nothing will be Infinity War. But you can tell this is what they're aiming towards. So it needs to deliver. It's we could do better, but we're aiming for the fucking. We've given up the league. We're giving up the cups. We're going for the league. So you better fucking win the league. This is Southampton in the cup, isn't it? In the 5th round.
Oh God,
we've bottled it so we can win in the league.
I mean, I'm taking the notion that if I die over Christmas, then I never see the end of this. So I take it as a year in its own right. That's why I'm giving it such a low grade.
You'll never see the end of it anyway.
Well,
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Your kids won't see the end of it because they'll just keep going.
So in the next 12 months, so that is from November to November. So Doomsday is actually next December. So what we do know we're getting in this period of time, we're going to get Wonder Man. We're going to get Spider-Man Brand New Day, a Punisher special, and maybe Vision Quest will be slotted in before Doomsday. I'm not 100% sure. No specific date's been given, just late 2026. Any of those wet your whistle, Stu?
I mean, obviously all of them. I always go into these things with kind of, okay, not with how bad's it going to be this time, but let's just see from now on. Obviously, Doomsday, like Ash just said, Doomsday is the one where it's going to be literally day one, first showing, as much as like Wicked for us tomorrow.
What time are you going?
9:20 in the morning.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't go that early.
But yeah, that's what Doomsday is going to be for me. The others, it's a Marvel film at this point. I'm going to be there within the first 24 hours. And I'll watch the series as soon as possible. But if
they do midnights for Doomsday, you're gonna have to do midnights.
Yeah. Sleep in the day.
Yeah, because it will be ruined, and there'll obviously be some event in there that'll be important for you to know about. So yeah, you're probably right to do a midnight thing if you give a shit about these things. Ash, what about yourself? Just for the next 12 months, so pre Doomsday. Spider-Man.
Well,
I mean, do we care about Spider-Man? Because
yes,
like he's just an annoying little fuck at this point. Like I really feel like they've done Peter Parker dirty in the MCU versions of it, because I just don't care about Tom Holland at all.
I'm interested more so because John Bernthald's in it, and I'm interested and worried about how they're going to do Punisher in a 12A.
Yeah,
because there's a chance that they could absolutely destroy it, because Punisher's the least 12A that they possibly could have. Obviously, they got away with it with Venom, but was his 15 or was it a 12A? I can't remember.
I think it was 12A.
Yeah,
I think one of them was 12A, and I think one of them may have been.
I think the second
15.
one was 15.
Yeah, I think it may have been.
Oh, Ruffalo's back in it as well.
Oh, so it's more Hulk stuff as well. Like, he's the most underutilized character. He's one of the more interesting ones, and you wouldn't know it again if you'd only watched MCU. Like, if you don't know him from the comics, you're missing out, really, because Hulk is a good character. And again, like, Ruffalo is a top-tier actor, like a proper actor, and he doesn't get the chance to really stretch his legs in these things because he's so underutilized.
Yeah, and another one who turns up for all of it as well. I mean, what if he's always there? Like Sebastian Stan.
I suppose it's because like he barely gets the chance to play that character, so when he does get a shot at it, he's going to take it. I suppose he's with him.
Yeah, it's probably an afternoon in the booth as well, ain't really? And
Yeah,
what else you going to do?
Yeah,
I mean, talking about that. I mean, we haven't mentioned any of them really, but the Lego Avengers Strange Tales from this year, which came out a couple of weeks ago. They have been really good for the last 3 years. At least these little Christmas.
I haven't even heard of them.
Like Christmas little mini episode. I mean, it's about 45 minutes the last 2 years. But this one was split in half for some reason, like 25 minutes, and then another 25 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Bizarrely, and it's just Lego Avengers, but in animated form, in CG animated form, like the games are. And there's 3 or 4 of them on Disney Plus over the last few years. It's really good fun. I mean, this one's about cats. It was Strange Tales, but it's all the same thing. Like it might as well just be an animated advert for Marvel Lego, because you have got the Doctor Strange set is exactly like that. The house is the same as the set, and the Quinjet is the same as the set, and the tower's the same as the set, and it's perfect marketing, but it's fun at the same time.
Okay. I suppose you better move on to the DCU now, which is the new kid on the block, I suppose you'd call it. It's a soft relaunching of the old DCEU. I think it's done a very good job of letting the stench of the DCEU finally dissipate. Like, Gunn's come in and he's given us Creature Commandos, Superman, and then Peacemaker. Like, we haven't had an absolute shitload when you compare it to the MCU in the past 12 months. But I think he's done a solid job of starting it. Am I the only one here who watched Creature Commandos in the end?
Yeah.
It was a good series, and I think you would both get a kick out of it because it's not adult animated stuff, but it's not pitched at like Teen Titans Go. Like, it's not that level. It is more like blood and guts, and they bring in some characters that will be coming into the main DCU. So like Rick Flag Senior is in there, but you're also going to get like Bride of Frankenstein and stuff will be crossing over, and Weasel was in there. So there are people that you will recognise, and I'm kind of excited to see how they do Dr. Phosphorus on the big screen because he's basically radioactive, man. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm sure it'll look pretty cool when it does. It was a good, solid opener to the world that they're building, just to give us a nice little grounding on more than just Superman. So they gave us a bit of a taster of what's going on politically in that world and how they navigate it. And especially because apparently they will be revisiting Amanda Waller at some point as well. So again, it was good to have her shadow cast over that world when we've come back and forth really with Rick Flag across the next two parts of the DCU so far. So I think it's good to see where it started for him. I really enjoyed the Creature Commandos. We are going to get a second season of that, so you probably want to get on that at some point. Obviously, the big one of the year, though, would have been Superman, which was out this summer. Ash, what were your thoughts on Superman?
Superb, weren't it? I don't know what more you want me to say. It was quite easily the best superhero movie we've had in a long while. Beautiful movie. Just beautiful.
Stu, what did you think to it?
A lot of fun. I don't know what I expected really, with the James Gunn-ness of it all. But after the last two attempts, it's been okay. He can't get any worse than this McCarthy style. And it didn't. It was great, and they had the right amount of fun in there and the right amount of comedy in there, without it turning into a parody of itself. It was just it knew that it was a superhero film, and it embraced it properly. It went balls deep into just showing off that it was a superhero film, and none of this really matters, but it's fun anyway. But it wasn't just frivolous like eye candy. There was more behind it, and it just worked. And I was quite shocked, and the fact that I had to wait a week before, more than everyone else, because I was in America when it came out, and I didn't want the whooping and hollering and all that nonsense over there to spoil it for me. And then nothing. Like, I didn't know that she was in it, so that was a nice surprise. The dog being not real was again a nice surprise.
Looked fantastic, though. I mean, obviously you can't make a dog fly and stuff, but they did such a good job of rendering it when we've seen so much terrible CG over the last few years. I thought that Crypto looked fantastic.
Yeah, it was just great fun. And I came out with a massive smile on my face. That's all you can really ask at this point with these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we've had like you intimated to, we've had some misfires when it comes to getting Superman on the screen ever since Chris Reeves. Really, I don't think we've had a great version of Superman given to us. Like, Brandon Routh didn't work, made Superman look like a voyeur, and that was weird, and I didn't like it. And obviously, you had everything about the Snyderverse that just wasn't Superman. Like, he didn't get the character in the slightest. And I was a little bit worried that Gunn was going to go too far the other way, because we had such a dark, brooding Superman, is Gunn going to try and balance it out and go too silly? And I don't think he did. I think he found the inner dork to Superman, and Superman is a dork. He's the big boy, fuck's sake, the big blue Boy Scout. And that's how he portrayed him. I think he did such a good job of finding the core of the character without making it look too silly. And then balancing that out with a good Lex Luthor. Like, as much as I like, oh Christ, what's his name? Social Network kid.
Jesse Eisenberg,
yeah. Like, as much as I like him as an actor, he was woefully miscast. So to then get Nick Hoult come in and play this snide little insecure bitch of a man whilst portraying himself to not be that, I thought he was fantastic in it. Every element of this film I thought was almost perfect.
That
it was
scene, the scene when he stole the dog and Superman flies through the office and he's got him, and what is it Nick Hoult says under his breath, and I was sat there like, oh, you cunt, I love you.
Yeah. But that felt like, as close to a Lex Luthor as we've got since Gene Hackman. And even that, like, I don't think Gene Hackman was a great representation of Lex Luthor either. As much as I like those films, that doesn't feel too Lexy to me. I'd say Michael Rosenbaum probably is the best version of Lex that we've had on screen prior to Nick Hoult. So yeah, I loved Superman. It was exactly what I wanted from the film. And then, of course, we had Peacemaker. So it's the first time, really, that the universe has felt a little bit of connection here. Like, it's the first... Like, it's not homework, but you kind of need to know about Otis and Lex Luthor for little bits in Peacemaker. And it was enough that if you hadn't seen it, you could still watch it. But if you had seen it, it was a nice little nod to it. And I thought that was kind of cool. Ash, did you enjoy Peacemaker?
Who knew Cena could act? That scene when he's crying and mate, really good. No, it's fantastic. Peacemaker's been superb 2 seasons. To be fair, I went through most of it worrying they were going to kill the eagle off, and there'd have been fucking outrage up here in CH65 if they'd have killed that CGI eagle off.
Yeah, definitely. Stu,
when he's on the top of the tree, and you realise what he is, and I cheered. I was just on my own on a Thursday afternoon. I cheered that moment. It's just really clever. Like the retconning of, like, yeah, okay, yeah, that didn't happen at the end.
That was gonna be my next question. Was what did you think of the retcon?
Well, what?
Because it was genius. That's exactly how you do it. Oh, it happened. It was just a different universe, so it's different characters. Yeah. Fucking genius. 2 minute throwaway, and it just erases everything before it. Fantastic.
Yeah, everything was the same apart from this NB. There you go.
And job done.
Because I watched Peacemaker season 1 first before the second one started, and I forgot that the amount of things that, like, the references to Aquaman, fucking fish and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, well, that could still have happened because it doesn't matter. Because Aquaman's still in this at some point. And I'm guessing he's not going to just be introduced again. Who knows, he might be. But then it doesn't matter. It just works.
Yeah, that's true. What do you think of the ending? Because obviously it sets up more of the DCU now. We've got Checkmate coming in there. You've got Peacemaker, who's been put onto this other planet, which I assume is going to mean we're getting the Salvation Run version of the DCU. This is my shit. This is my fucking world now. I'm so happy. Stu, it was very much, we're now doing what the MCU have done. These things are going to connect and we're going to get some flesh to it. Are you okay with that, or would you prefer to have it a little bit more segmented?
No, I mean, I like it all being its own thing, and I like the homework aspect of it all, because it's like, okay, it makes me superior that I know all this stuff and you don't. That kind of vibe to it. But I mean, if it's at the expense of Peacemaker season 3, which is what it seems to be, then that's a bit of a shame, because I would like another one of these, because like all of them are great. like the chemistry between the whole thing,
Yeah.
the whole crew of them, it just works together. And the music, well, we talked about the music 2 years ago, how great the music is with it all. Are you really going to carry that over as well? It just seems a bit of a shame. But obviously, they can't do everything. I'm just glad it exists in some form going forward because it was wonderful.
I mean, in fairness, Peacemaker season 3 could just be Checkmate season 1. And I'd be cool with that. I think that'd be a good way to carry on the legacy of the 11th Street Kids without it becoming, another film in that world. Because I don't know if there's enough there to carry a film in the same way that it could carry a TV series.
Maybe.
I don't know. Ash, which one's got the best intro? Season 1 or season 2?
Just for watching Frank Grillo struggle, I'm going to say 2 because he looked like he was so far out of his comfort zone. It was fantastic.
Stu, what do you reckon?
The bird blindness.
I love Tim Meadows. I think he's such a good actor. He's brilliant in that.
Yeah, just I think now with hindsight going and them two kind of performing like a ballet together, and like the forbidden fruit of being next to each other but then apart and all that stuff. You're probably going to be saying the second one, but the song from the first one is better. Yeah, I think, but the performance is better in the second.
I think I prefer Foxy Shazam. I think the second song I prefer. It's just fun. It's a good fun song.
And then they're in it.
Yeah, and they're in it. But I think the second one's better because they know what they're doing this time. Yeah. So I think they sort of add to it a bit better. But nothing will be the first time you see when you first stumbled across Peacemaker season 1, and that was the intro. And at no point do you ever skip it because it's incredible.
I'd love to know how many takes they took for this, and the second one, how many takes they took to do the pyramid, and how many times they tried it. But Frank Grillo, they stuck on the one where Frank Grillo is laughing his ass off. Like you watch him at the bottom of that pile, and when he drops down, you just see him laughing, and it's like, is this the best one? Is this the best we could do?
So Ash, the DCU in its infant year, what score are you giving it?
I'm gonna go with a very harsh B+ because I want more. But I think if you could have had a little bit more, I think it would have been an A. But say one film and one show, I think if you'd given me one more film or TV show in that sense, possibly, yeah, the B+. But a very good start.
Stu, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think I'm going round about that round. Yeah, I think it's a solid B for me, just because nothing was like exceptional, but it was a lot of fun. And is that better than just being bland? Obviously, it is. And that Superman film's not at the minute. It's not as memorable as some of the others, even though it's better. But that's just recency bias, I guess. Because there hasn't been that long since. But when the next one comes around, I'll watch it again. Yeah, I look forward to it because I had a great time watching that and Peacemaker. And if you're saying the Creature Comforts thing, or whatever it's called,
Creature Commandos,
Oddman specials. Did that come after Wallace and Gromit?
I think it was before. I feel like it was like. Oh, and then again, when was Wallace and Gromit?
93.
Oh, it might have been around the same time then, in fairness, because I think that must have been when I was about 10 or 11. So you might find it's a very similar time frame.
Yeah, Oddman animation for our Indian friends.
They're too busy doing Pokemon stuff soon.
Creature Comforts.
1989 was
89?
Creature Comforts. Jesus. I didn't realise it was... Because I remember the adverts with them more so than anything.
Yeah.
which I felt was like when I was a little bit older.
So how many? 5 minutes.
They're doing an untitled Gurinder Chatara film, upcoming film. Old Hardman.
Incredible.
Hang on. So Creature Comforts was a 5 minute
yeah.
short in '89.
And then there was an animated series of it.
In 2003. Yeah, that's the one I remember. Yeah, 2003.
Mm.
Oh my god. Upcoming specials from Aardman. Pokemon Tales, The Misadventures of Sirfetch'd and Pichu 2027. Get in. And then the Pingu reboot. Oh my god. We eating good.
Do you know my cat's called Pika?
Yeah, you've said this before. I'm sure you have.
Yeah, the kitten. Yeah, the lightning stripe on the strike on her back paw, on her back leg is now more prominent now. So, she's like inverse there because the lightning's kind of goldy color and it's on a black leg. So
it's turning into Raichu. It's evolved.
Look at he's
these are just words to me. Incredible. In the next 12 months in the DCU, we are going to get Lanterns, which I'm looking forward to finally seeing a good adaptation of the Green Lanterns. We'll be getting Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow adaptation, which, again, really looking forward to. That story is fantastic. And then we're getting the Clayface movie, which will be released on September 11th, hashtag never forget, and potentially a second Creature Commando season. So it looks like we're going to get some good stuff next year. And it doesn't look like they're going to flood the market. Because, I mean, that's been a criticism of the MCU for quite a while, is that it's just been too much. I think 2 films, a series, and an animated show, I think that's fine.
That's the level, and I think that's the perfect pitching point there.
Yeah. Because I think like Marvel doing 3 films and 4 TV shows. I mean, they've even said themselves, Marvel have, that it was too much and they were going to slow down. And then this year we've had 3 films and 4 TV series again. So like, they know what's wrong. They're just doing nothing to remedy it. So it's kind of their own fault at this point. Anything you're looking forward to there, Ash? Lantern, Supergirl, Clayface, or is it just all of it?
I think it's all of it at this point. They've already put a lot of credit in the bank after these 2 bits this year, so I think they can afford a dud or 2, but I don't think there will be, will they?
No, I don't think so. And like you look at Clayface, it's going to be Mike Flanagan. The fucking wonderful Mike Flanagan has written this film, so I've got pretty high hopes for this because I think he's a very good writer. And if they're getting in people of that caliber, whereas I feel that the MCU tends to just get whoever's available. Like, I don't feel like they ever get anyone with any real flair or any real source. But you get Mike Flanagan in with, you know, what he's given us with stuff like Midnight Mass or Haunting of Hill House and that kind of thing. And the Doctor Sleep, for crying out loud, The Life of Chuck. Like, he's got chops in this game. I'm really excited for that.
Is the Lanterns one, is that the one with Kyle Chandler's playing?
Yes.
He's
playing Hal Jordan, yeah.
And Fillion's playing Guy Gardner. Oh, yeah, go on then.
I do wonder how they're going to do it, because I don't know which characters are going to be in it, but obviously Guy Gardner feels like, obviously from what we've seen in the Superman film, he's very comedic, and this kind of looks like it's going to be a little bit more of a drama than anything else. Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how they mash it all together.
Did
Stu,
you watch
anything you?
Yeah, again, all of it at this point. So Supergirl, though, more because that was a nice surprise, and seeing her just being pissed. But yeah, this is different. This is
it's clever.
Yeah, this is not what we had with Melissa Benoist, or however you're supposed to say. This is something else. It's very James Gunn. So yeah, that especially. I'm looking forward to just to see how that works. But there was another one as well. Did you ever watch the Cape Crusader animated series from last year?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause season 2 of that's out next year as well.
Oh, is it? I really enjoyed that. It was Batman, but like different. But that was a female penguin, wasn't it, and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool. It was a good idea to have a new look at a well-established character. My pal Superman? I think was like from the point of view of Jimmy Olsen, another really good animated series. I'm hoping we get a third season of that because I feel like that needs to have a proper good ending. So the rest, like bits and bobs outside of the main world that kind of intrigue me.
Yeah, and I kind of like how they're doing that anyway, and like the Batman 2, which is not involved in this either.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just leave it where it's supposed to be.
We'll see. I still have a feeling they may fold it in. I think there's a way of doing it. I think you can get around it because I think you can have different flavours within this one world. It depends on how Clayface goes, though, I suspect.
I mean, we need an Adam West style Batman for this universe, just for it to work.
Possibly. I don't know, because like obviously reading the comic books, and there's that many different styles of writing and styles of just like artwork and stuff that they do all exist in that world. So in theory, it could work. I don't know. It all depends on how it goes. I am really looking forward to Supergirl as well. Craig Gillespie's done some really good films over the last few years. I, Tonya, Cruella, Dumb Money were his last 3 films that I really enjoyed. He also did Lars and the Real Girl, which I'm a big fan of. So, yeah, he's got quite a few credits in the bank with me. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Like I said, it's just everything at the minute. I just want more. Right. Okay. So that is the first part of the podcast done. Myself and Stuart will be discussing The Ambulance from 1990 after the break. Ash, thank you for joining us to chat some nonsense for a little while.
Oh, that's always fun, isn't it? It's better than looking at chimneys on stadiums.
It's annoyingly. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it's gutting because we know that this was going to happen. And that they're gonna make it work. It looks fucking ridiculous.
62,000 for Birmingham. Have a word.
But it happened at Sunderland. I remember in the 90s where they went from Roker Park and they were only getting like 16, 17, and then they went up to the Stadium of Light and they were getting 40 straight away. But a success. You know what they're like, especially Brummies. I've been going all these. They're crawling out of the little scabby cubby holes in their wretched holes in small. I mean, we used to deliver around there, and it was the only time we ever had to lock the lorry because they tried to nick it once. Jeez. Just scrammels, tramps, all of them. But there's lots of them as well, which is the problem.
Like rats. Lovely. Right. Ash, thanks a lot, mate. See you later.
See you later.
Welcome back to the final part of the podcast. We're continuing on with Absurd Autumn with Eric Roberts in 1990's The Ambulance. Eric Roberts plays a comic book artist, Josh Baker, where he meets a mysterious woman named Cheryl on the streets of New York. Just as sparks fly, she collapses and whisked away by an old-fashioned ambulance. When Josh tries to visit her at hospital, he's told she was never admitted. As more people vanish after he encounters the same ambulance, Josh becomes obsessed with uncovering the truth. His investigation leads him into a bizarre conspiracy involving a rogue doctor, illegal medical experiments, and a shadowy mobile abduction unit disguised as an emergency responder. I had never in a million years heard of this film. I mean, like we spoke about it last week. Eric Roberts has got like over 750 credits on IMDb. So like he's probably the most prolific actor in Hollywood. There's going to be a shitload of stuff that's just going to fall through the cracks with him, isn't there? Let's be honest. You've never heard of this before, Shu?
No, and I thought it might have been like the original version of Ambulance from a couple of years ago. That's what in my head I thought. Okay, is this what it is? Never, even knowing the plot that you read out on IMDb, I never in a million years thought it was going to be this what it turned into. I mean, I haven't had. I mean, it's a spoiler for later. I haven't had such a good time watching a film all year than watching this.
Really,
I absolutely loved it, and even though it was on a certain streaming site of ours, it was available on there. And I thought, this is too good to be true. It had like 2 cedars. And then, like I showed you that picture and it being given for 12 hours and nothing had happened. When I got back from work, it was there, both of them done. I thought, oh, class. So I watched it and she just heard me laugh. She said, what on earth were you watching with that old-fashioned music and what's it like people reading off a bit of paper? I went, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's basically it, yeah.
It was something else.
Like the fact that it opens up with Eric Roberts being an absolute fucking sex pest on the streets to a complete stranger with that mullet. Like, we need to do a big watch just on that alone. That's one of the most ridiculous mullets I have ever seen, and I've watched wrestling from the 1980s. It was appalling. The worst thing about it was I immediately knew exactly where it was happening. Just outside Tiffany's on New York. I was like, I know where that is. And then once they pick her up, when she gets taken off, and like we meet the evil doctor, who is Tom Selleck meets Timothy Dalton.
Yeah,
almost. I loved his line when she says, "Oh, you're going to kill me, aren't you? Eventually, I will, but I promise you'll be in perfect health before you die." Isn't that nice? Like, what the fuck? Why are you saying that?
Yeah, and then he gets a glove. I like to touch human skin through a surgical glove. That's all.
That was creepy, wasn't it? I mean, in fairness, they all gave like quite rapey vibes in this film. All of them.
He had a bit like the surgeon from Human Centipede kind of vibes as well.
Yeah, he was unpleasant and made my skin crawl a little bit, I think. And obviously, like I mentioned, that his character, Josh, was it Josh? Like, I just refer to him as Eric Roberts throughout my notes. He's a comic book writer, and the comic book in New York is Marvel. So we actually get him in the Marvel Studios, and fucking Stan Lee is there playing Stan Lee.
Well, that's why I thought you put it this week, because we were talking about this. This can't be an accident.
It purely was. Like, I genuinely had no idea that. Like, I didn't know Stan Lee was in it. I didn't know he was a comic book actor. It does beg the question: is this the first film in the MCU?
Well, the fact that he full names him as well, he calls him Stan, but he says Stanley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But is he saying his full name, or is he just calling him Stanley because that's his real Christian name?
Who knows? I mean, genuinely, who knows? It was strange. It was one of those things. I saw him and I was like, that looks like Stan Lee. That's Stan Lee. Why is Stan Lee in this film? Because like he doesn't really do anything. It's just the fact that Josh is a comic book writer. He doesn't really play into anything in this movie. So it's kind of a bizarre idea that you make him that type of character. I don't really understand it.
It says on IMDb, the reason why he was in it was because he was trying to get a film out there with the Cohen guy.
Okay.
And he couldn't get this idea off the ground. But he just liked him anyway. So he changed the character to be a comic book writer to get him in the film. Okay,
well, fair. I mean, that's as good a reason as any, isn't it? Let's be honest. Especially some of the things that we've seen. And also, we got a nice shot of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. # never forget for its third mention of the night. James Earl Jones was outstanding in this film. Like, this might be my favourite performance of James Earl Jones in anything. Fucking playing with a yo-yo in the police office. Consistently chewing gum. The scene where he's chasing down the ambulance, like just before he's about to be shot. And he just keeps putting like piece of chewing gum in after piece of he must put about like 6 or 7 pieces of chewing gum in. And he's just constantly chewing away. He gets shot. And then when he's lying on the ground dying, he's still chewing gum.
Oh, that's when he's got that knife in him. That's when he's chewing gum.
Yeah. He gets stabbed. He goes down, and then he comes back up, shoots the ambulance again, and then falls back down, and he's still chewing gum. It's some of the worst acting I've seen, let alone from a big name like him.
But his mouth moves like a puppet as well. It looks like he's just opening his mouth and shutting it like a puppet would.
It's kind of got like quite rubbery features the way that they move around. It looks almost like it's a puppet's probably the right way to describe it. It's so weird. Like it's very much a chef's kiss version of ridiculousness. I think with all of the acting in this, it's like there's the scene with the lady, the female copper, Sandra. So like when she first meets Eric Roberts' character, she asks him about why he's harassing Cheryl on the streets, and immediately like pegs him as a bit of a fucking pervert, which is 100% accurate. And then like by the end of the film, she's absolutely frothing at the minge for him. when like he gets turned down by the woman who has driven the whole film. So like he's there to find Cheryl. He finally finds Cheryl just to find out she's got a boyfriend. And he quite literally turns around and says, "Well, do you want to go instead?" And she's like, "Yeah, let's go back to yours." Have some fucking respect, woman. What is wrong with you? Like, there's a reason that James Earl Jones kept screaming at you every time you said anything in this film, because you're just fucking horrendous. It's so funny.
I'll call him. And she says, "I think, he is listed." I thought, "Oh, that's a nice throwback." I forgot about that.
Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? And the absolute unexpected delight that was red buttons. After like laughing so much at just the mere mention of his name last week, he was fucking brilliant in this film. Like, yeah, you could tell you've won an Oscar because you were giving it large in this movie. I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah. Every scene he was in, even messing about with the camera on the docks.
Yeah.
And he, oops.
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding. Really good.
I mean, he hitting him with the bedpan as well, and you can, like, why is he in this? If he's such a big star, why is Red Buttons, who we've never heard of before, why is he in this film?
Well, I'm sure he'd won the Oscar in like 1927, so I'm guessing he probably had a few lean years during the 80s and 90s. And then, like, to top it all off, after having had no narration throughout the entirety of this film, right at the very end, we get the Eric Roberts voiceover of, "This is the story of what can happen to a guy for talking to a strange woman on the streets." Like, where has that come from? Like, you haven't narrated any of this movie through this point, and then right at the end, we get this voiceover, and that was weird. I almost feel like that there maybe might have been a voiceover throughout the movie, and they just left it off, and for some reason just left that line in. I don't really understand why, because it wasn't a story about a guy talking to a strange woman on the street, was it? It was a story of a sex pest trying to get in a woman's pants that he'd literally just seen for the first time that morning. That was the story.
No, but I don't think he had seen it for the first time, because he mentions something about how
he does, doesn't he?
Like he
sees her every day. That's even worse. Even worse. Absolutely appalling.
But she plays along, though, considering she's got a boyfriend. She plays along with it.
I mean, she tells him to fuck off, but then he's like kind of warming to him, and then she falls over because of her diabetes. And it was so weird how like everyone seemed to have diabetes in this film. Like, this film was 90 minutes long, and there was 3 people with diabetes. I'm 42 years old, and I don't know 3 people with diabetes. I don't think I've ever met 3 people with diabetes. It was so weird how every fucker had it. And it's like, it's not that common.
I actually work with 2 people who have it.
Do you really?
One of who has got one of them little patch things on her arm that releases stuff. And then Ian, who has to have... he has to keep on top of his levels, or he gets faint, like in this film. So that's 2. That's 2 in the same place. But yeah, diabetes like that in 2025 is very different to 1990, when it's you might as well say fucking AIDS. It was that rare.
Well, that was it, because when he meets her roommate and she says, "Oh, she doesn't like to talk about it, or she keeps it secret, like diabetes is, like it's AIDS, like it's something that was seen as." I'm going to say shameful, but that's probably not the right word. But obviously, it was taboo. Taboo's the word I was thinking of. Diabetes wasn't and isn't. So I don't know why they're hiding it. It was such a strange film. But I did enjoy it. Like, I did have a laugh with this movie, nonetheless.
And yeah, I mean, it's almost like Duel as well, with the ambulance itself, where it stalks him, and like when it's in the club as well.
Oh, when it was in the club, and it was like going back and forth, and there was just fucking buckets throughout this club. Like, why are there so many barrels in this club? It was like the least clubby club you've ever seen. Right, so we're going to rank this film with the other 7 that we've watched so far. It's going to be on 5 specific targeted columns, and we've got the kaboom quotient, how gloriously over top is the action. We give points for explosions, impractical weapons, and improbable stunts. The plot pretzel, how twisted, nonsensical, or hilariously convoluted the story is. Is there a message to the madness? Is there a deeper meaning going on to all of this? Social, political, cultural commentary underneath the chaos. The ham and cheese index, which is the acting scale for how hammy or cheesy the acting is, and then just the overall what the fuckness. That's the absurdity factor to all of this. We're going to score each one out of 10. Let's start with a plot pretzel. I've given it a 7. Like, it's not the most, but it's quite silly. How, like, if you think about it, like, it's a very high level. People get kidnapped. He goes to the police, and it's like sleuth. That's basically the story. But when these people keep getting into an old-fashioned ambulance, like, it wasn't even a modern ambulance. This was an ambulance from 50, 60 years prior. So it made no real sense how that was happening. And then, like, you've got the bits where the ambulance is stalking people. It almost felt like, is it Christine? No, I can't remember. There's a Stephen King one. I think it might be Christine. No, it's not Christine. Maximum Overdrive. Have you ever seen Maximum Overdrive?
I don't think so.
Oh, you'd like that. It's atrocious. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. Like, it made no sense. So I've given it a 7. I've given it a bit more than something like which I think was quite straightforward. Like, they're both similarly straightforward, but there's just a few sillier elements to this that made me have a bit more fun with it, I think.
I gave it 8.
Okay.
Just because it is. I mean, at the outset, yeah, it's a guy trying to find a girl who he likes who gets kidnapped. It's like, yeah, taken, whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that you got the diabetes, you've got the doctor, and you got the experiments, then you've got the hospital in on it, then you got the police, and then all the other nonsense that goes on.
Yeah.
It's a bit like what your was, where it's a lot of stupid things all melded into the same film, and it's only that short runtime. I think it deserves an 8 for that.
Fair. I can't argue with that. I think it was good. It was good fun. The kaboom quotient, I've given it a 6.
Yeah, same.
It's not Big Trouble levels of ridiculousness, but it's definitely better than Jim Carter, isn't it? Like, I think using the ambulance as a weapon in itself was quite funny, and then you do get quite a decent explosion at the end when he drives off. He drives through off the. I don't even know how to describe it. He drives off something into a building site, and the ambulance explodes
in a hole.
In a hole, yeah, like in the hole in the middle of New York. I thought that was quite funny. It wasn't outstanding, and I think, like, we've had Big Trouble and The Running Man, which both got 8s, and it's not to that level. But where Jim Carter got a 5, I think this has got to have a 6. So yeah, 2 6s I think is fair there, Stu.
Yeah, and a lot of the chase stuff was really good. And like the bit where he's where he kicks himself out of the back of the ambulance and he's going down the street on a
I forgot about that. That was brilliant. That
trolley, was. Avoiding traffic like something from the Naked Gun. It's class.
It was brilliant. That was, wasn't it? Again, I think I know where that was. That's the worst thing about this film. I kept watching it thinking, yeah, I wish I was there. Message in the Madness. I don't know if I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt here. And like, we have given a few films a bit of a kicking over the lack of a message. And I'm not 100% convinced if I'm right or not here, but I think Cohen may have been like vaguely alluding to the problems with Big Pharma and the shit show that is the US healthcare system. I've given it a 5. Like, I've given it better than some of the others, which, like, where were the other ones that we gave shit scores on this one? Message in the Madness. Like Jim Carter, we gave that. I gave it 2, you gave it a 1. They call me Macho Woman was a 4 and a 4. So I've given it slightly better, but I don't know if that's just me being very generous. What do you reckon?
I think that's looking deep and film studies deep into the meaning of anything from this. I mean, I gave it a 1 again because there's nothing in there. I mean, what is it? Well, don't get obsessed with strange women who you don't know. I mean, ironically, really, from the start of this episode. But yeah, I couldn't see anything behind this at all. It just seemed, this is proper like writing room. Let's put crazy stuff on a page and let's do it all and link it together kind of stuff, rather than trying to say something about anything, any higher power of any kind. Silly bollocks, didn't need a plot.
I think that's fair. Like I say, I think I'm just being generous with that one. The ham and cheese chart. I think this is its strongest category for me because Eric Roberts, like the manic charm that he's exuding throughout this film, is quite outstanding. I don't really think he's a very good actor, to be perfectly honest, but in this, he's endlessly watchable.
It's his face, like that's when he tries to be serious, and
it just makes you want to laugh, doesn't it? Like he cannot be serious, I don't think, through this.
And I mean, that's the only reason you can tell it's actually his hair, not a wig, because he does get greasy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously not in places where it should be for continuity reasons. You can see what was filmed at different times. But like I said before about doing this, it does make me kind of wish I was like 30 years older than I am, so I could have experienced this era at this time and been like this, because it looks amazing. What a time to be alive.
Mm. Yeah, it is outstanding.
But yeah, he would. I mean, none of them do anything. Like you've already talked about James Earl Jones and he's chewing, and you got the damsel woman who's only in it for probably about 5 minutes screen time altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like proper play someone who's in distress, and she does it like by numbers. And then you have the female cop who, like you already said, jumps into bed with anything out of nowhere.
Yeah, just like it was completely out of nowhere. It wasn't really set up very well throughout it. And
So
even the roommate, she was appalling, and she was in it for like all of 40 seconds. But her acting was absolutely abysmal, which is perfect for this film. Like it did work really well for it, but it's not good. But as I said, Red Buttons, he's the man in this film. I want a film just about him. I think they need to do a spin-off.
I think that's why I've given it an 8, because Red Buttons being good kind of takes it down a bit, because he's got no reason to be that. He could have been as camp and ridiculous as everyone else in this film, but the way he does it, he's perfect.
He's the only one who's like, oh no, I'm an actor. All the others are just like, I'm getting paid, so I'm doing whatever. I've given it an 8 as well for pretty much the same reasons, because it's not quite on the Macho Woman level, which we gave 9s to.
No.
And I'm happy with it being just that touch below, I think. So yeah, I completely agree. So then just the overall what the fuck factor. I mean, it's a film about a killer ambulance roaming the streets of New York City. Stan Lee randomly pops up. James Earl Jones and his yo-yo. It's unhinged, this film is.
10.
I've given it a 7, but yeah, 10. Okay.
10. This is I know we can't do it because it wasn't released this year, but would have been my film of the year. I've not had so much fun in a long time than watching this.
Like, I enjoyed it. I'm kind of amazed how much you were.
I know, so am I. Like, it's so. That's the thing now, because I've got it. I mean, most of these things, like all of the ones that we've watched so far, I've just deleted straight away, or
Yeah.
if I've downloaded them. This has never been deleted ever. Like this is there with Fire Ice and Dynamite now as one of these films that's so stupid.
Yeah.
It has to. It's an eternal rewatch.
Incredible. Right. Okay. I have added up the scores. Is that right? Because that feels very low. Right, we've got 12. I'm going to do it again because that does feel quite low. I know you got a 6 for the message. So that's 12, 27, 33, 43, 49, 59, 66. Which does feel quite low. But so that puts it bottom but 1. So You're the Hunter from the Future. Oh no, sorry, bottom but 2. Jim Carter's bottom with 54. You're the Hunter is 57. Then we've got Macho Woman at 67. They Live at 74. Running Man and Big Trouble at 82. And then The Toxic Avenger is out in the lead with 88%. Look, I mean, don't get me wrong. This is nonsense what we're doing. Like, this isn't like a real review of films, because Macho Woman and Ambulance I did have a lot of fun with, and I think in years to come Macho Woman will be one of those films that I'll rewatch. It'll be like Xander Lee from the Nick Cage of it all. It's like, I kind of love it because it's appalling, and I feel like The Ambulance is going to be that for you with that. So like, I kind of want them to be higher scoring, but they just don't fit in with the overall premise. This is just an excuse for us to talk nonsense about terrible films.
Yeah, and I think obviously because there's no explosions and stuff, and there's no meaning, and that's the only reason these have got scored lower than they have compared to the others. But like, enjoyment factor wise, I think this list would be very different. But I don't think there's any beating Toxic Avenger it ticks every box.
100%. Yeah, it fits every one of the categories that we've got, but it's also a film that I just really enjoyed as well. So I'm glad it's on the list, I think. Speaking of which, we were supposed to be this was supposed to be a filler before we hit Christmas, but we've now hit Christmas, Stu. And for the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing like the past, present and future like we did last year, just having a look at a few things. And then we'll do the Star Wars Christmas special, like the week of Christmas. And we've got 4 episodes there. So that means we've got 3 episodes without a film to watch. So how do you feel about extending this for a few more weeks? And we'll do a film for 1991, 92 and 93. For 1991, I've got a film called Samurai Cop, which is a clumsy action flick with bad wigs, wooden acting, chaotic fight scenes, and just like complete incompetence throughout. It's one of those films that it's up there with The Room, and the lead guy does look a lot like Tommy Wiseau, which I think probably lends something to it. There is a sequel to Samurai Cop, which I think is like 2017. So for some reason they went back 20 odd years later. So I think start off with that for 91. For 1992, we'll do a film which I've not even heard of before called Free Jack. And this is Emilio Estevez squaring off against Mick Jagger in a bonkers cyberpunk future where the rich hijack bodies. And then for 1993, we've got John DeHart's vanity project called Champagne and Bullets, or it's also known as Get Even or Road to Revenge. This is a film with 3 titles, and I don't know why yet. This is a mashup of a courtroom drama, a hot tub ballad, and it's got it's guns and champagne and bullets. Like, that kind of tells you what to expect in this film. So it is unhinged.
So looking at them 3 and screen grabbing them now for the next 3 weeks, none of them have got a bit anywhere near a 6.
I mean, yeah. Like, I know of Samurai Cop and I've seen bits, but I've never watched the whole film. I'd never heard of Free Jack until I was doing a little bit of research for this. But Champagne and Bullets I've seen, and like it's 1993, but it's also 1981. Like it's that. So I'm quite excited for it.
And we should also watch because Fire Ice and Dynamite is winter season. You've never done it.
I haven't, to be fair. That's not a bad idea to try and squeeze that in at some point as well.
Well, it's 1990, so we could talk about it briefly before we do the next one, before we do Samurai Cop.
Could do. Right, okay. So yeah, that'll be the second that one will be going out. Yeah, okay. I'll make a note and see if I can squeeze that in as well.
It's not a Christmas film. It's a winter. Yeah. It's about winter. It's like the Winter Olympics. So it's just right. So it doesn't really matter. And the fact that it's 0 degrees outside at the minute. It's freezing. Literally.
It's kind of freezing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try and squeeze that in as well. Before we do Samurai Cop next week. Okay, cool. So that's us done this week. If you want to get in contact with us, you can get in contact on the Twitters and all the socials at Cage Fighting Pod. Or if you want to send us an email, it's cagefightingpod@gmail.com. Please make sure you subscribe on whatever podcast that it is you listen to us on. And if you could leave us a 5-star review, that would really help us out. So for this week, Stu, would you like to say goodbye?
Surgical gloves should live on Salt Bay only. No one else. Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me too. And remember, this is a story of what can happen to a guy for talking to a strange woman on the street. See you next week.